Okay, I know in the last video I said Paradox Pokemon were the most creative variations, but let's just be real here. Mega Pokemon are the coolest thing ever. You gave super forms to Pokemon. That was the coolest thing to a Sonic-loving younger Mystic, and you know what? It still is. Now with Pokémon Legends ZA bringing Megas back later this year, I think now is the perfect time to rank every single Mega Pokemon from worst to best. E tier. In last place is Mega Sharpedo. Original Sharpedo? Perfect. Mega Sharpedo with a bunch of scribbles and a knife? Not so perfect. Mega Abomasnow is so close to being awesome, but like, why is this thing on all fours? It really kills the original's cool factor. Mega Manectric just looks wrong. You know that shadow costume for Sonic Superstars where it's like classic Sonic in a shadow suit but his head is still sticking out? Mega Manectric looks exactly like that. Like, why is a Thunderbolt so big? Mega Gyarados is just regular Gyarados but like really fat. You guys gotta stop feeding this guy fish food. So I like Mega Pidgeot's new haircut, but like that is all they changed. They really did just give him a new haircut and that's it. It's an improvement, but like there's nothing else here. D tier. To begin D tier, I will now share my live recreation of how Mega Aerodactyl was designed. Mega Kangaskhan is very interesting in concept. Problem is, barely anything changes. I love the concept of the kid fighting, but it really just got stale over the years. Mega Aggron has got to be the funniest Mega Evolution. They just took away the guy's rock stab and then made him fat. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Mega Medicham is just kinda okay. It's not a bad design, and I like that they gave Medicham some love. I just think this should have been a regular evolution, not a Mega form. Mega Swampert, big arms LMFAO. It's funny, but Darmanitan wore it better. Mega Gardevoir, whoa, hey, pitchforks down, guys, pitchforks down. Listen, I know she's iconic, but I think just having a big dress doesn't really get you higher than D tier. The shiny form is absolutely incredible, but that's really all it has going for it. Mega Absol is just underwhelming. I wish they either leaned in all the way on the Grim Reaper motif or leaned all the way in on the Angel motif. Right now, it really just feels like a half step into both directions. If I had my way, it would have been all bipedal like Duskform Lycanroc. Mega Salamence takes the very top of D tier. I think Roaring Moon really took this design and ran with it because the base form is just kinda okay. It has a nice shape, but it's so stiff and awkward. C tier. To start C tier, we've got Mega Alakazam. I like the concept, mystical sage guy. Problem is, he just looks kinda constipated. Why are you posed like that, dude? Mega Mawile is just Mawile to the power of 2 with a little extra pink for the new fairy type. It's just okay. Mega Diancie, which is for some reason the only Gen 6 Mega Evolution, is kinda awesome. The only reason in C tier is because I just don't think she's better than the ones above her. Probably the most likely one here to have its position switched later. Mega Altaria is so adorable. It's so fluffy. I just want to get buried inside of the fluff. Regular Sceptile is awesome because of how easily it moves. Unfortunately, the new tail is too big and it just gets in the way. Mega Sceptile still looks raw, but it really ruins the magic of the original. And speaking of being worse than the original, Mega Garchomp. I actually like the design of this version a lot more, but the stats are so comically bad, dude. How did you mess this up? Mega Houndoom is a case where there isn't anything wrong with it, but there's not much going for it either. It's exactly what I'd expect a third Houndoom stage to look like, but it doesn't really feel like a mega leap in power. Mega Lucario, hey, pitchforks down, let me finish talking! Thank you. Anyway, Mega Lucario is just okay. It really just feels like another case of it could have just been a regular evolution. I like it, it's an improvement, but not by a long shot. Mega Glalie is actually at the top of C tier because the design isn't great, but the story behind it is. They gave it out as a bonus for finishing the Oras demo, and I've always found that awesome. That and Glalie is just kinda cool in general. B tier. Time for the biggest tier here, beginning with Mega Camerupt. I always thought that Camerupt didn't lean hard enough into being a volcano, so the Mega form really cranked that up to 11. Mega Metagross is another really popular one I don't exactly get. Them actually upgrading Metagross's ability to fly and the overall design alterations are rad. But at the same time, it really is just Metagross flipped on its side. It's not A tier, but it's not a bad Pokemon. Mega Steelix isn't the most interesting design in the world. However, I do like how it kind of revived the concept of the Crystallonix. An old anime urban legend turned into a proper form is really novel. As I mentioned before, I love how Tyranitar is just Godzilla. Mega Tyranitar is just Godzilla with more spikes. Spikes are rad. That is all. Mega Sableye is a weird case because it feels like the Mega that they changed the least. It's the gameplay changes that matter the most. Giving it a shield so it can have magic bounce and jacked up defenses is a really fun concept. I'm grouping all of the Kanto starters, minus a certain one, together because they're all kind of the same thing. They all take the main feature of the original starter and then make it bigger. They're basically all just 4th evolutions of their original concepts. Mega Slowbro is just funny. The shelter has completely taken control. That poor Slowbro is in constant peril. Somebody help him! Mega Latios and Mega Latias are basically the same thing, just mixing together the red and blue to make purple. They lean more into the jet motif, making it more realistic to actually fly on them. Ignoring how Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs did it first, it was majestic using the Eon Flute for the first time back in the day. Being honest, Audino was a Pokemon that I didn't love at first, but it's really grown on me over the last few years. This is almost entirely because Mega Audino won the 2016 World Championships for the TCG Masters Division. Imagine getting stomped by an Audino deck in the finals of a World Championship. Mega Pinsir is one of the biggest glow-ups in Mega history, earning at the top of B tier. Giving it a flying type, aerialate, and a 155 attack stat is awesome. It's just a real shame that it's outclassed as both a bug and flying type Pokemon by other Megas. A tier. Starting off A tier is Mega Mewtwo Y. I think that this Mega fits Mewtwo the most design-wise. The memory of seeing it revealed in the trailer for Genesect and The Legend Awakened is seared into my mind. In the actual game though, it's just pretty good. Mega Scizor really fixed one of my biggest issues with Scizor, being that it didn't really look like a steel type. The Mega leaning into the armor and Scizor motifs really sells the typing. Mega Lopunny is another Mega that really feels like the maximum version of a Pokemon. Lopunny, despite being a fan favorite, was always kind of underwhelming to me. Giving it a fighting type and actual features really improved the design. Welcome to the fan favorites I like but wouldn't put in my top 5 trio, starting with Mega Rayquaza. Rayquaza is already one of the best legendary Pokemon, and they just made it more awesome. Thing is, it's always rubbed me the wrong way how Kyogre and Groudon got primals, but only Rayquaza got a Mega. I wish they just stuck with all 3 Mega or all 3 primal. Mega Blaziken is an absolute classic. Ignoring how busted its ability is, the design just screams martial arts master. It's just Blaziken, but improved across the board. Sheer childlike joy. And while we're on the topic of starters, Mega Charizard X. I specifically left it out of the trio of Kanto starters because it really doesn't fit with the other 3. That's because X is designed entirely on the rule of cool. A black dragon-type Charizard with blue flames. Truly a masterwork! The only reason it's not S tier is because it sticks out like a sore thumb against the other Kanto starters, but that doesn't change how awesome it is. Another Pokemon I've really come around on lately is Ampharos. He's a silly little electric type who grows his hair out and becomes an awesome dragon. It doesn't make much sense, but it does make it one of my favorites. And now at the top of A tier, Mega Heracross. As much as I love Heracross, I didn't even realize he would be this high. But the more I look at Mega Heracross, the more I love it. I'm not usually a fan of the thing but bigger Mega Pokemon, but Mega Heracross is the perfect way to do it. The upgrade from Rhinoceros Beetle to Hercules Beetle was outstanding and finally makes Heracross the beast he was always destined to be. S tier! And now we've reached S tier. If you've been keeping count, that leaves 5 Mega Pokemon remaining. To prove that you made it this far, leave your top 5 Mega Pokemon in the comments below. And now coming in red hot to the start of S tier, Mega Banette. Banette's concept of being a cursed doll was already terrifying. Now, imbued with infinity energy, it has broken free of containment. It's spiraling out of control, forming new legs and twisted claws. It's just incredible. At 4th place is Mega Mewtwo X. While I think Mega Mewtwo Y fits Mewtwo's usual design more, Mega Mewtwo X being a fighting type is just so cool. Its appearance in Pokken is especially incredible, showing off all of its stretchy limbs. Maybe I'm biased to Pokemon X in general, but I vastly prefer this Mewtwo. And now for what's probably the most surprising placement, Mega Beedrill is in 3rd place. This is another Pokemon I didn't care for at first, but the more I used it, the more I loved it. All the way back in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, I completed my first actual shiny hunt by catch chaining for a shiny Weedle. Evolving it up and seeing a shiny that I truly hunted myself Mega Evolve for the first time was actually magical. 2nd place goes to Mega Gallade, or Gallade, whichever you prefer. Gallade might be the best example of just taking a Pokemon's original motif and running with it. They took the original Heroic Knight idea, made the sword massive, and then gave him a majestic cape. That combined with Wally's final battle theme in Oras blew my small child mind. However, that doesn't make him the best Mega Pokemon. And now, first place. A little channel lore for the people who only discovered me this year. Before this year's rebrand, I used to go by Mystic Gengar. Thing is, I never really loved Gengar for being just Gengar. I always loved Gengar for Mega Gengar. They took this funky little orb fella that made him a menace. Huge arms to crush your skull, sinking into the ground with a red evil glow. A creepy third eye, sparking genuine mystery. The spikes and tail being taken to their absolute extreme. All of this was especially made to look incredible in Pokémon Tournament, where he's been my main since day one. In my humble opinion, Mega Gengar is the perfect example of how to do a Mega Evolution. Take the original design motif, but instead of making it just bigger, twist it in a unique way that makes its personality shine. And that's my list. Also, an apologies to any new members. We had to finish this video before we made them go live, so we'll shout you out in the next one. Have an outstanding day.